In today's video, we're going to be painting some brake calipers I have here behind me. These are for the 180. So we're doing a similar setup to my S13. So we're going to have dual caliper R32 brakes in the rear, and these are S14 brakes for the front. I'm pretty sure they're the same as 32 brakes anyway, so they look the same for the front. So this is what we got. These ones need a rebuild, just the seals, which we've got here, but I won't film that because it'll take too long. Gonna sand them all back. These ones are pretty good condition. These ones not so much, they need a bit more sanding, and these ones as well not so much, they need a bit more sanding. This is the same brake caliper paint kit I used on my S13 before I spray painted over mine black. So you get your 2K clear and your 1K etch primer in white to make the color show up, and this is the color we chose this time. I'll leave it a secret until we paint them. The kit also comes with these like sanding pads. They're like a sponge with like sanding material. It's really it's quite smooth. It might be like 360 or 400 grit. It's really easy to like get, because it's bendy, to get in all like the little places. We have some like other sandpaper here that I'll be using to just clean up the more rougher edges. But I did have different colored brakes on the front, but I couldn't deal with the color, so I just went over them in black. I might color them again. I'm kind of sick of the black now too, but that's the 32 front. In the back here, as you can see, we've got the dual 32 brakes, so this setup works really well. I'm going to show you guys how to disassemble the 32 caliper so you can paint it. So you want to take off all this stuff on the top here. This is going to be really easy because it looks like it's new, but usually it's a bit fidgety. Just pull the locking piece out. Then you want to push these pins out. There. So there's 1, 2. Then you want to grab this lockout. It keeps the brake pads in. Grab your brake pads out. The pins also go through the brake pads. As you can see, there's pin holes. Grab the other brake pad out. And then grab these out, and that's it. And then there's your seals in there if you ever need to do a rebuild or replace your seals. The seals are in there. There are your brake pistons as well. So yeah, pretty simple. Now that they're all bare, I'm going to go ahead and start the annoying job of sanding them. These calipers are a lot more chunky, like the paint. It's going to be really hard to hand sand that much thick chunky paint off, so we're just gonna, I've already started hitting it here with a wire brush on the drill bit. That's why I've got the safety glasses on. Just don't do it in the one spot for too long so you don't create a dent in that in the metal, but yeah, just like this. So I'm going to show you how to pull apart the front caliper. It's pretty much the same as the front. You just want to get this locking thin steel piece out, and you want to just get at the pins. Sometimes they're stuck, sometimes you can just get them with your fingers. Yeah. So the pin, this is just like a real like thin locking to lock the two pins, just extra safety. Grab the other pin, pull it out. There we go. So there's your other pin. And those pins basically hold these pads in the caliper and just hold them in position so they can open and shut. So there's the pads. They're pretty good, but we are going to replace those anyway. Got some E85 left from the track that we just did, so I'm just soaking the rusted caliper like accessories or pieces in the E85 to get the paint and the rust off. This is the pin before the E85 and cleaning, and this is the pin after E85 and cleaning. Looks brand new. So as you can see, this caliper's got like a dent in it up here. There's nothing I can do about that. It's just gonna have to stay there. I'm gonna go wipe these, clean them up, and then I'm going to put the etch primer on them. This one's pretty thick and it's also white, so they should come up pretty good. I masked 3 on the bench and then I forgot the other 3, so I'm going to mask them while they're hanging up. the caliper paint kit that I got is only meant for 4 calipers, but we've got to do 6. So like I did with my S13 calipers, I'm just going to go a bit lighter on the areas where we're not going to see, like the backs and the insides, and just focus more on the parts that we will see, because this caliper paint kit was like $130 for like a few spray tins, so it was quite expensive, but I have had it before, so I knew what the quality would be like on the outcome, so that's why I got it again. Also, this is another piece that we had soaking in the E85, and we just cleaned it up. This is it now after the E85 and just a bit of a sand and wipe. Looks like brand new. So they're all masked up and ready to go. Just gonna clean them while they're hanging up, just brush them off a little bit, and then we're ready to lay down the primer. I already sprayed this one lightly for a reel, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this other one, which I'll give a light spray on. So we basically just want to do a really light tack coat. It is direct sunlight, so it does dry really quick. I probably won't paint the paint in direct sunlight. I'll wait till the afternoon, but the primer should be okay to paint in the direct sunlight. I've got the other 4 to do. I'll go ahead and undercoat those, and I'll show you guys what they look like once they've been fully coated. This is all the hardware, all cleaned up, all the pins. Yeah, it came up really nicely. I wish I took a before photo. So this is dry-ish now. You can see it's really smooth. This is the 32 ones. Now I'll show you the this is S14, S15 ones. You can see the texture of the metal is a lot lumpier and dimplier. Dimplier. That's not a sanding issue. It's like that, like over the entire caliper. It's just the texture. The 32 front ones are a lot smoother, and as well, they're like, the 32 ones are a single piece here. You can't see the 2 pistons. It's like a flat piece. It looks much nicer, but this is what we got to work with, so they'll definitely do. They'll be fine. They're 4 pistons, so they're definitely enough stopping power. Now for the fun part, we're going to go ahead and lay the color onto the calipers now. Comment down below what color you think we went with. Just laid a tack coat on this first one. You want to start with very, very light coats and then get heavier the more coats you do, if that makes sense. Because of the white primer, this yellow is already coming up super nice. So this is with the first coat done. As you can see, it's really light. You can still see the white base coat through it, and just a bit of color on there just to tack it. And we don't want to go too heavy. We don't want runs, but it's looking good so far. This is with all the color coats on the calipers. Gonna go ahead and make a coffee first, because I'm dying for a coffee, and then I will lay the clear onto them. This is the 2K clear that the kit comes with. You get this little thing to put on the bottom to, I don't know, it must be to activate the paint or something, I don't know, but you got to put it on the bottom, and I think press it in one hand, coffee in the other. So it looks kind of matte right now, the color coat. I'll show you what a small layer of clear does to them. Instantly shiny. The low afternoon lighting definitely makes these pop. Look at how nice that looks. You can see that one was the dented one I showed you earlier. We're back, it's the next day. I had to let the calipers dry because it did get dark and it did get quite cold, but they've dried up really nicely and they're really shiny. This is them, they're all done, all nice. They're super, super shiny. Amazing. So I'm just cutting them off the clothesline now. They look so good. They're so shiny. So on this front one, there must have been some residual brake fluid in there. We tried to get it all out, but we must have missed some. You can see this line here where the brake fluids affected the paint. I'm not sure if that's affected the paint after it's dried or while it was drying. I'm not sure if it was leaking out because of where I had it hanging, but because of the ugly texture of these brakes, you can't actually, like if I go back, you can't really tell. So I'm just gonna leave it. Currently undoing my terrible attempt at masking them off, but they're actually really hard to mask off. So I'm going to show you guys how to assemble a 32 rear caliper. You'll need your brake pads, 2 pins, your bit of locking steel, this to lock the pins in place. I'm not sure what these are for, but they have to go on there. But if you don't have all these little bits and pieces, you can buy the hardware kits online, so you don't need to worry if your calipers don't have these. You can buy them online for about like $30 to $60, somewhere between there, Australian money. Firstly, you want to put these things in. I'm not sure what they're for, I don't know, but they lock into place on the sides of the caliper here, like that. Lock it on the side. Pretty simple, just squish them into place like that. Then you want to get your brake pad and your 2 pins, and you want to get this pad in here. It's a bit of a tight fit because everything's brand new. And then put your pins through. And then you want to get some of this Penrite grease, or some pads or kits come with grease already. You just want to get a really tiny amount and just lightly grease these pins. Once those are greased, you want to hold the pins out a little bit. Put this pad in and line it up so that one lines up good. And then you want to get your locking thingy. Put one of the, see it's got dents in it, that's where the pins sit. So you want to put one on this pin and sit it on the padded area, and then hold it down while pushing the other pin through the other set of pads, just like that, and then flip it down. These pins have holes on them, so you just want to line the holes up at the top, kinda, and then just get your locking thing, don't know what to call it, put it through one of the pins and then through the other pin, and just press it down until it goes out the back. See, one of them has, but the other one hasn't. You just kind of want to fidget with it and get it at the right angle. Some of them are a little bit bent, so they're a bit hard to go in. So that's the pins. It's through the pins there. This one's a bit bent because it's one of the old ones, but it's through the pin, so that'll be fine. That's basically how you put a 32 caliper together. And next is the front ones that we're going to be doing. Again, it's exactly the same as the rears, except just a little bit bigger. Still the same pins. The pins are just a little bit longer as well. So you just want to get that in there. Tuck one of the pins through. Okay. Slide one of the pins back through. Now this one is a bit different. It hooks one in here and one in here. So, and it goes like this, like the hump up. So I'm gonna just put this hooked side first, and then pull this pin down, push that down, pin through the pad, and then up through the back hole, like that. Just straighten these pads up as well. So this one's a little bit different to the rears. With your locking thing for the pins, there's a hole here in the back of the caliper, and this thing slots into the hole like that. As you can see here, it comes through the front. You just want to then get one side in, and then you want to get the other side in. So that now has those pins locked so they can't slip forward and your brakes can't come apart. This is the finished caliper. It looks really good. It's all locked in place, all greased. This is where brake fluid ran down when the caliper was drying. I do have some paint left, so I will touch that one up. But that is how you put brakes together. Just doing the touch up on this brake where that brake fluid leaked, and then I'll be all done with the brakes. I'm going to end the video here. That's basically how I paint my calipers and how I put new pads and hardware back into the calipers. But thank you guys so much for watching. It'll be in another video where I'll be installing the calipers onto the 180 after we've finished 5-stud converting it, so stay tuned for that one. If not, definitely check out some of my other videos where we go drifting and other things we've done to the 180 along this build process. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.